Deep within the heart of a forgotten town, a looming structure emerged from the shadows, the abandoned Willowbrook Mansion. Once a grand estate with sprawling gardens, it now stood as a decaying relic of the past. The mere mention of Willowbrook sent shivers down the spines of locals, as tales of inexplicable happenings echoed through the whispered rumors of the town. It was said that the mansion held the secrets of a tragic history, a place where dark rituals were performed in hidden chambers beneath its creaking floorboards. Locals avoided the overgrown path leading to the mansion, claiming that the wind carried anguished wails and eerie murmurs from within its dilapidated walls. Curiosity, however, has a way of overpowering reason, and a group of adventurous friends decided to unravel the mysteries of Willowbrook one fateful night. Armed with flashlights and nerves of steel, they cautiously approached the mansion's imposing entrance, the air thick with an unsettling silence. As they stepped through the creaking doorway, the atmosphere changed. The grandeur of the past lingered in the faded wallpaper and cracked chandeliers, now mere specters of a bygone era. The group explored cautiously, guided only by the feeble beams of their flashlights, the floor beneath echoing with their hushed footsteps. In one room, they discovered a dusty grand piano, its keys seemingly untouched for decades. As if triggered by an unseen force, the keys began to play a haunting melody on their own, sending chills down the spines of the explorers. Panic set in, but curiosity pushed them further into the mansion's labyrinthine corridors. A hidden staircase led them to a forgotten underground chamber. Cold air enveloped them as they descended, and strange symbols adorned the walls. The air grew heavier, and shadows danced on the periphery of their flashlights. Whispers, barely audible, echoed ancient incantations as if the very walls whispered secrets they had sworn to keep. In the heart of the chamber, they found a decrepit altar surrounded by faded symbols. It became clear that Willowbrook was more than just a mansion. It was a portal to something beyond comprehension. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and a sinister force seemed to awaken from its long slumber. Terrified, the group attempted to retreat, only to find the mansion's layout shifting before their eyes. The once familiar corridors became a labyrinth that twisted and turned, trapping them in a nightmarish puzzle. Whispers intensified, shadows morphed into grotesque shapes, and the temperature plummeted as the ancient malevolence manifested. Each member of the group felt the weight of unseen eyes upon them, and the air grew thick with an oppressive presence. One by one, they succumbed to the mansion's malevolent forces, disappearing into the darkness as if consumed by the very shadows that clung to Willowbrook's forsaken halls. As dawn broke, the town awoke to an unsettling stillness surrounding Willowbrook Mansion. It stood once again as a silent sentinel of the past, hiding the secrets of the ill-fated expedition. Locals, guided by an unspoken understanding, avoided the mansion, knowing that some places are better left undisturbed, and the tale of Willowbrook would linger as a cautionary whisper for generations to come. Far from civilization, nestled in a dense forest, the abandoned Blackthorn Sanatorium stood as a grim reminder of a forgotten era. Closed decades ago, the imposing structure harbored the ghosts of a bygone medical experiment gone horribly wrong. Locals spoke of the inhumane treatments that took place within its cold, sterile walls, leaving behind a legacy of anguish. A group of urban explorers, lured by the morbid allure of Blackthorn, ventured into the heart of the decaying sanatorium. Armed with cameras and an insatiable curiosity, they entered the desolate hallways where the air hung heavy with the scent of decay. The flickering light bulbs cast eerie shadows, revealing glimpses of the twisted metal beds that lined the forgotten patient wards. As they delved deeper, strange sounds echoed through the desolation, distant cries and phantom footsteps that sent shivers down the spines of the explorers. The air grew colder, and an oppressive feeling weighed on their chests, as if the very atmosphere mourned the tormented souls that once sought solace within these walls. In the bowels of the sanatorium, a hidden laboratory was unveiled. Rusty medical equipment, discarded vials, and yellowed documents hinted at the sinister experiments conducted in the name of science. It became apparent that Blackthorn was not just a place of healing, but a macabre laboratory where boundaries between life and death were callously blurred. As the explorers ventured into the basement, they discovered a series of underground tunnels that seemed to stretch endlessly into the abyss. Flickering lights revealed glimpses of ghostly figures, spectral remnants of patients who never found release from Blackthorn's cold embrace. Panic set in as the tunnels seemed to shift and twist, disorienting the group and amplifying the labyrinthine horror. The explorers became entangled in the tragic tales of those who had suffered within Blackthorn's walls. Shadows danced on the periphery of their vision, and ghostly apparitions materialized in the corners of rooms, replaying moments of despair and desperation. Whispers filled the air, recounting the pain and suffering that stained the sanatorium's history. One by one, the explorers succumbed to the malevolent forces that clung to Blackthorn. Each disappearance left behind a lingering sense of dread, as if the very walls absorbed the echoes of their fear. The forest surrounding the sanatorium seemed to echo with the anguished wails of the lost souls, warning others to stay away from the forsaken place. As the last explorer vanished into the shadows, Blackthorn Sanatorium stood in desolate silence once more. The tales of its haunted history persisted, dissuading anyone from tempting fate and unveiling the horrors that lay dormant within its decaying halls. The abandoned sanatorium remained a somber monument to the darkness that can lurk within the pursuit of knowledge, a chilling reminder that some doors should never be opened. In the heart of a forgotten coastal town, the dilapidated Seaview Hotel stood like a spectral relic, its once luxurious facade now weathered by time and neglect. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about the hotel's sinister past, where a series of unexplained disappearances and eerie occurrences left an indelible mark on its history. A group of thrill-seekers, undeterred by the ominous reputation, embarked on an overnight stay at Seaview Hotel. The creaking doors welcomed them into a foyer frozen in time, with faded wallpaper and dusty chandeliers that hinted at the grandeur of its prime. As night fell, the air grew thick with a palpable tension, and the guests felt the weight of unseen eyes watching their every move. The group ventured into the labyrinthine corridors, guided only by the flickering glow of their flashlights. Doors swung open of their own accord, revealing rooms frozen in a perpetual state of abandonment. In one room, an old music box played a melancholic tune, echoing through the empty halls like a haunting melody from the past. Cobwebs. A phantom orchestra seemed to play a spectral waltz, and the guests found themselves caught in a dance with unseen partners. The air resonated with the whispers of ghostly laughter, creating an eerie ambiance that sent shivers down their spines. In the dead of night, the group gathered in the dilapidated lobby to share their unsettling experiences. Shadows danced on the walls and the temperature plummeted as a ghostly figure materialized at the grand staircase. The apparition, a woman in a tattered evening gown, beckoned them with hollow eyes, leading the group into the bowels of the haunted hotel. In the basement, they uncovered a hidden chamber filled with antique mirrors. Each reflection told a haunting story of the hotel's tragic past, the lost souls trapped in a spectral limbo, yearning for release. The mirrors seemed to distort reality, revealing glimpses of the hotel's former glory and the untold horrors that transpired within its walls. As the night wore on, the guests became entangled in a web of paranormal phenomena. Doors slammed shut, echoing footsteps resonated through the halls, and whispers grew into anguished cries. The once curious group now grappled with the realization that Seaview Hotel was a portal to a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred with malevolent intent. In the early hours of dawn, the remaining guests fled the hotel, their faces etched with terror. Seaview Hotel stood once again in abandoned silence, its haunted legacy persisting through the ages. The coastal town, now aware of the chilling events that unfolded within its forsaken walls, vowed to let the Seaview Hotel crumble into obscurity, a haunted testament to the price of meddling with the spectral forces that linger in the shadows of the past.